Perhaps no city in the country has undergone more change in the past 4 years than San Francisco, from being one of the top target destinations for entrepreneurs and forward thinkers, to the top target for national headlines on increasing crime and homelessness, to drops in tourism, to record office vacancies. The city has undergone a huge shift, and it's on the brink of another transformation. Cutting-edge industries are once again moving to the city. Crime is falling, unsheltered homelessness is falling, tourism is on the rise, office vacancies are falling, retail vacancies are falling, and developers are transforming former industrial sites into multi-billion-dollar massive mixed-use spaces. And one of my favorite developments that comes hand in hand with all of these exciting changes in the city are brand new park spaces throughout San Francisco. I'm Austin Clark, your lawyer turned real estate agent in San Francisco and Marin County, and in this video I'm breaking down my favorite park projects coming soon to San Francisco, some of them as early as this year. So let's get right to it with number 1 on my list, Outpost Meadow in the Presidio. If you live in San Francisco, you've probably heard of the brand new Presidio tunnel tops. It's the latest addition to the Presidio, which is one of the top parks in the city. It's a national park with gorgeous forest land, trails, and beautiful views of the Golden Gate Bridge, the bay, and the city. The tunnel tops comprise 14 acres of park space that opened on the north side of the Presidio in July of 2022, itself having multiple trails, a giant children's playground. There's a new cafe called Il Parco serving pizza on focaccia crust. It's been a smash hit, one of the most popular parks in the city, and it's getting even better. Just a year after the Presidio tunnel tops opened, the Presidio Trust that runs the national park announced plans to expand. Specifically, they're converting a 1.5-acre parking lot that serves as a parking lot for a sports basement into an extension of the tunnel tops. Construction started in 2024, and it's expected to be completed by the middle of 2025. The new area, known as Outpost Meadow, will sit approximately 240 people, include a new trail to the Outpost playground at the tunnel tops, bring new picnic areas and barbecue space, all to that bay frontage with beautiful views. The new meadow will also be designed with climate change in mind, serving to absorb and redirect water during heavy storms. There will also be more bike parking, and don't worry about the parking being taken away by construction. The same amount of parking will be available and is being constructed in connection with construction of Outpost Meadow. By the way, if you want to learn more about the Presidio tunnel tops or some other great parks in San Francisco, I've got a couple videos on some of the classic staple San Francisco parks and some of the new parks that have recently opened in the city. I'll link those videos up top in the description below. And if you like videos about new parks or want to learn more about current events, new developments, or just what it's like living in San Francisco or Marin County, subscribe to my channel because I make videos about that stuff every single week. And if you're thinking about purchasing a home in the area and have questions about all the different changes going on in the city and how it impacts the market, or having trouble picking the right neighborhood for you, definitely reach out to me. I've helped numerous people relocate to the area from all over the country. I'd be happy to be a resource for you, and I'll put my contact info in the description as well. Now back to some of my favorite upcoming park projects, and the next one on my list is a big one, Ocean Beach Park on San Francisco's Upper Great Highway. The Great Highway is a 3.8-mile long roadway running along Ocean Beach on the westernmost side of SF. The Upper Great Highway is a 2-mile segment of this street between Lincoln Way and Sloat Boulevard, and on weekdays, at least until recently, it's been a roadway for use by regular cars doing their, morning and evening commute. But last year, that all changed. Voters approved a controversial ballot initiative, Proposition K, that would see the permanent closure to car traffic of the Upper Great Highway, and in its place would be the creation of a brand new park space, all designed with climate change in mind. And late last year in 2024, the California Coastal Commission actually blessed this initiative. It was one thing for the voters to pass it, but it actually had to get past the California Coastal Commission, and that finally happened. So approval for the permanent closure of the Upper Great Highway to cars just happened late last year. The permit from the Coastal Commission allows the city to divide the Upper Great Highway into 2 separate areas, one for pedestrians, one for bikes. They're also going to be building new protected bike lanes that'll connect Sloat Boulevard to the pedestrian and cycling paths in Golden Gate Park. And now that the closure has been formally approved by the Coastal Commission, the city can actually turn its attention to the design and funding for the park. As I mentioned, a big part of the design will be guarding against the impacts and future impacts of climate change. One of the biggest concerns at this site in particular is coastal erosion caused by the pretty extreme weather conditions in the area. Now, it's going to be a long time before we have a brand new new park space there. There's a ton of work to do on the design and funding piece, and that was actually one of the criticisms of the ballot initiative. That stuff wasn't in place. So if you want to stay up to date with everything going on over at Ocean Beach, definitely subscribe to my channel because I'll be giving you full tours and updates on all the progress. The next park on my list is all the way across town in Dogpatch and has a pretty unique history. I'm talking about Esprit Park. The park was originally built in 1982 as a corporate park to serve employees of a nearby clothing company of the same name. The founders that built the park eventually donated it to the San Francisco Recreation and Parks Department so that it could be used more broadly by the public. The park has been in use for about 40 years and hasn't really been updated in about 20 years until recently. The park is being segmented into two separate areas, one of which will include an off-leash dog space. There's also going to be new landscaping, plantings throughout, new custom seating throughout, exercise equipment, and they're going to spruce up the redwood trees that are surrounding the beautiful park. Fletcher Studio is helming the redesign, which is expected to cost about $8 million, $5 million of which is being funded directly by UCSF. The park will be open Q1 of 2025 and might actually be open by the time I post this video. Next on my list is the smallest project on my list, but one of the most exciting because it's happening in San Francisco's best park, Golden Gate Park, and it's for a really good cause. A memorial garden is being created at San Francisco's Golden Gate Park by Bay Area young survivors, people who were diagnosed with breast cancer before the age of 45, but who survived, and the memorial garden will be dedicated to those who unfortunately did not survive the diagnosis. The scope of work involves demolishing an existing seating area and creating a new seating area and a new pathway to a brand new plaza, brand new seating, brand new stone benches, a new pavilion, new plantings, and new landscaping throughout. They're also going to be removing a lot of the invasive plants in the area as well. Total budget for the project, not bad, under $1 million, and it's expected to open in 2025. It's for a really good cause, and I'm really excited to go tour it. Next on my list is an update to one of the most frequented parks in San Francisco, Twin Peaks. Everybody goes to Twin Peaks for the stunning 360-degree views across the city, bridge to bridge and beyond. But if you've been there recently, you could probably tell the trails leading to the site are not in the best condition. Steps are deteriorating, the general site is eroding, and honestly, it's not the safest place to be compared to what it was in prior years. So the SF Recreation and Parks Department is working to improve the trail system, restore areas that have failed, make it more sustainable, and make it safer for the general public that traffics there so frequently. And most exciting about the development, they're formally creating a Twin Peaks promenade that will convert a closed roadway into a linear park and trail system for pedestrians and cyclists. Again, not the most exciting or most transformative project on the list, but Twin Peaks is one of the most iconic places in all of San Francisco, so it's really exciting that it's getting even better. Last on my list consists of updates primarily taking place at Alta Plaza Park in Pacific Heights, but also at parks all across the city thanks to a very generous donation, $3.6 million, by a former Pacific Heights resident that recently passed away. Longtime resident Ben Bobo left $3.6 million to the San Francisco Recreation and Parks Department and specifically allocated it to improvements at Alta Plaza Park, specifically for a number of new park benches on the south-facing side, the terrace side of the park. Of course, that is a ton of money to just spend on benches. No way the city could spend that much on benches, let alone just at one park. So the commission voted unanimously to spend about $700,000 on over 30 new benches at that park, and they're also going to bring another 50 or so benches to parks all across the city. And the remainder left over after the money is spent on benches will be used for capital improvements at parks all across the city, including Golden Gate Park and the Great Highway. No specific timeline on construction there, but really cool to see improvements. Alta Plaza Park is one of my personal favorite parks. I live a block from there. I love it. If you haven't been, go check it out. The views and the houses around it are amazing. Really awesome to see the updates come to that area. Well, there you have it. Those are my favorite park projects and improvement projects coming to San Francisco, some of them as soon as this year. All of them are in motion, and it's really exciting to see all that's going on in the city. I'm going to be going to all of these and giving in-person tours and updates along the way. So if you're interested in learning more about what's going on with all these parks, what's going on with other parks in the city, and new developments across the city, definitely subscribe to my channel because I'm going to make videos about that stuff every single week. And if you're thinking of relocating and have questions about what's going on in the market, how are all these changes in San Francisco affecting real estate, reach out to me. I've helped people relocate from all over the country. I'd be happy to be a resource for you as well. I'll leave my contact information in the description below. And before you go, don't forget to check out the other videos I made on some of the classic San Francisco parks like Golden Gate Park, as well as the newest parks to open in San Francisco, including the tunnel tops. All I'll link that below in the description. Go check it out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.